Shakeel and I'm from NIH. We live in Columbia, Maryland. So thank you for inviting over here. I'm going to introduce myself first that why I'm in medical profession. So by profession, I'm an engineer. So that was 22 years ago. So when I came to America, so like everyone else, I don't have much information, much knowledge, just I know, wake up, go to work, come back home, take care of family. That's what all we do, right? So, but I have a typical lifestyle, okay? Have a Mountain Dew every day, eating big meals in the restaurants, running late from the breakfast, from the work, so just okay, I'll eat something whenever I can, having just a little bit lunch, and when we come home, we have enough time, have a very big meal. I think we do all this all the time. That's life, right? So what happened, within 5 years, I have rheumatoid arthritis, I have high cholesterol, I end up developing benign tumors, and of course high blood pressure. So those all things are like part of my diet. What I was eating, my body started responding. Within 5 years, I was young and I said, okay, something is wrong. Okay, start visiting doctors, asking them what's wrong with me. Oh, age factor is just environment. Okay, here's them. Okay, I'm just talking to them and the pen is running like this. And next thing you see, okay, this medication prescription, go ahead, have some tests and get some medication. Okay, I took medication for a couple of months and again, same thing. So I said, how long this gonna keep going on? He said, forever. So I was not satisfied. So first thing I decided to learn about my body. So I have to quit engineering. Went back to school, start studying nutritional health and diagnostics. Because before we can treat anything, what we do, we have to diagnose what's wrong. And without diagnostics, nobody can find out what's going on. So we know what is the right test, where we go, what kind of tests need to be done. So that's the reason I came in this profession and then start learning. And ever since, I changed my diet, changed my lifestyle. I didn't get sick. All those things are gone. So I went back to my friends who are doctors. I said, what happened to me? You guys told me that it cannot be fixed. It is what it is, right? You have diabetes, glucophage, metformin. They keep giving it to you, right? You ask them how we can stop it. Why don't you keep taking it? This is lifesaver. High cholesterol, statin drugs, Lipitor. Now they're saying, oh, it is killing you. So they're going to ban it. Right? So now, what we can do to prevent ourselves, our kids, our near and dear ones, so they can have a quality life. Right? We're on the edge of technology. They know each and everything. Right? Like 100 years back, people were dying. Here you have a little bit infection. Next thing you see, they're dead. Right? Now what we have is, we have the best medicinal system in this country for emergency medicine and for some trauma or surgery. They have no doubt, they have the best system. But when it comes to chronic diseases, it is a failed system. The system is failed because of the food chain. Food chain is totally commercialized. They have to give products and whatever they're producing in the farms, shelf life. The only way you can give shelf life, you have preservatives, additives, and chemicals. Do they care about us, that how those preservatives, chemicals are killing us? No. So they think this way, okay, there are 1 million people, maybe a couple of thousand get sick, it is natural. So again, quantity. It's not about the humanity, that how it's going to save the mankind, how it's going to affect the mankind later on. So what we have to do is we have to educate ourselves that, okay, what we're doing wrong, what is happening to me, why I have high blood pressure, why I have cholesterol, why I have I'm pre-diabetic or diabetic, why I have osteoarthritis, or why I'm having osteopenia or osteoporosis. Those are the very common diseases which never existed in the past. The numbers are very high now. Right? Regarding diabetes, they're saying 1 out of 4 gonna have it. Same thing, cancer gonna be on rise in 2020. So, how we can prevent it? One thing is called metabolic syndrome. So, metabolic syndrome is not a disease, as brother said, science. So, it's like metabolic syndrome is basically red flags. There are 5 things in metabolic syndrome, which according to different theories there could be 6 and 7, but general concept of metabolic syndrome is there are 5 things. Number 1, we have to find out what is our blood pressure. How many times we go and get our blood pressure. Then sugar, fasting sugar, how much we have. HDL and triglyceride, LDL. So those all things are red flags. So when we comes to blood pressure, if it is above normal limits, it is bad for your body because it can cause heart attack, it can cause stroke. So what are the numbers? The right numbers are somewhere between 110/70 and 120/80. In that range, everybody is fine. They say there's no risk. But if you go above 130/85, then you start worrying that, okay, I'm in trouble. Normally they're saying if you, out of those 5 signs, you have 3, you definitely going to have some kind of serious health issue. I would say even if you have 2, you have to pay attention, because if you can have 2, it's not going to take long to get the 3rd one. And when it comes to your cholesterol, cholesterol is very important for the body. By Lipitor, giving Lipitor to somebody is not the solution, it kills you. Because every single cell needs cholesterol to function. So body is making it naturally. What we have to look at the cholesterol numbers are normally HDL is for I think 50 for the woman, 40 for the man. So that's considered good. Anything below that, you have to start worrying why my HDL is low. Same thing goes with the triglyceride. Triglyceride should be low. If it is going high, you have to worry about it. So going with those numbers is the normal procedure, but normally most of the doctors and the research scientists, they don't go with those numbers, they go with the ratio. What's the ratio you have between those numbers? Like between high density lipoproteins, which is good cholesterol, and triglyceride, which is bad trans fatty acids, you have ratio. So if 50 is your number, so ratio will be between 2 or 3 or 4, right? So 2 is best. 2 mean like you divide your triglyceride with your HDL. So if the number comes 2, so that is fine, you're okay, you're on the safe side. 3, you start thinking that what I'm doing wrong. 4, 5, and 6, extremely bad. So most of the doctors, they just go by the numbers, they never bother to look at the ratio. They never. So this something you have to do it by yourself. Or go sometime, like naturopath and ask them what is right for you. By looking at those numbers, they can help you. This is very important. Now, they always discuss that, okay, you have metabolic syndrome, right? But nobody talks about, beside metabolic syndrome, there are 4 major things which are also killing us. And those tests are not covered by insurance companies, they are expensive tests. Anything which is cheap is available by insurance. Those tests you may have to ask your doctor, can you please order those tests for me? Okay, those 4 things are methylation. Methylation is a process of DNA repair. Every cell, when we sleep, goes in that repair mode. Body goes on the basal level, in everything, on the very low level. Your heart is beating slow, your pulse is low, your body temperature is maintained. So what body start doing? Body say, okay, cleaning time. So cells start sending signals, and there are repair mechanics. They come, they say, okay, time to clean your lungs, your GI tract, your liver, your kidneys. Everything is cleaned every night because there are so many toxins in the body. So body has a process called methylation, which is, in simple term, it's a mechanism of rejuvenating your cells. So they will be prepared for the next day. And this happens every day. We used to say that we have only 1 or 2 trillion cells. Now they're saying, oh, we have at least 30 trillion cells. So 30 trillion cells all the time working for us. So methylation, what it does, it rejuvenates the cells. This process is very important. Then if this process is going down, we really have to think that, okay, why it is going down. So there is a certain test which can be done, and that test tells you that if your methylation is working properly. Number 2 is oxidation. God has designed, I'm going to add one more thing, that God has designed our body in such way that we must die. No matter how advanced we go, the system is for the destruction, not for forever. So, but what we can do is we can prevent suffering by paying, again, as you said, pay attention to the science. So oxidation, how it happens? There are many theories. One of the theories is eating too much. There was a time when I used to do autopsies. So when we see at the stomach size, so the full stomach is not bigger than those 2 palms, like this. So how much food can come in it? Do we eat this much? The problem is right there. Even in, I think, everywhere it's mentioned that eat less, eat less, eat less. But we don't. As I said, I've been in the same boat. In the night time when I used to come home 20 years ago, my diet was like this, which is a big killer. Because what I have done, I have introduced those free radicals which cause oxidation 10 times. Body now has to do repair work, and now the body has to deal with the free radicals. They said, okay, they are wrong guys, we have to take care of us. So what happened? The cleaning left, because they are taking care of something. So oxidation is the second part. Then third part is inflammation. When we talk about inflammation, people think, oh, there is swelling, redness, or heat, right? When we bump into something, we see a bump, swelling, redness. We're talking about the low-level inflammation which happens inside the body. Again, what we feeding it. There are certain foods, certain drinks, when we feed them, all they do cause low-level inflammation. And low level of inflammation of what? Your kidneys, your liver, and your heart. And those things contribute to what? I'm getting back again relating it with the metabolic syndrome. Those are things, heart attack. Also, inflammation causes brain swelling, Alzheimer. So all those things are going back to metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is the same thing. So everything goes in a cohesion. Now, we have discussed 3 parts, I think: inflammation, oxidation, and methylation, and next step is glycation. Those concepts, what I'm just mentioning to you, they're very new to the doctors even, and it takes, according to study, it takes at least 20 to 25 years to agree and accept those factors, that okay, there could be a problem due to those 4 things. So this is very advanced and latest information. But in order to change in the textbook, in the medical society, it have to go through a lot of hoops and loops. So what is glycation? Glycation is like, we use sugar and we use protein. When it goes in the body, when sugar molecule binds with protein, it creates glycation. What glycation does, it just like cause scarring of the tissues inside it, make them hard. It's like your blood vessels have flexibility, your liver have flexibility, your lungs have flexibility, but what happened with the glycation, everything things start getting like, how I can explain it? Like baby skin is so fresh, but as we get aged, what we see, like wrinkles, some people have alligator skin, right? So that is a result of glycation. So again, it goes back that what we are eating and how we can prevent it. Those four things cannot be prevented. There's no way. As I said, Creator is smart. He has created us, and He knows that how we're gonna end. But doing too much to ourselves without knowing gonna accelerate the process of aging and suffering. So we have to prevent suffering. Those things can be bring to the levels where they should be. We can minimize those symptoms. But there is no medication so far which can eliminate glycation, oxidation, inflammation, and methylation. This is the game of the nature. We cannot beat it. No science so far can beat it. What we can do is we can slow it down. Regarding metabolic syndrome yield diabetes, high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, brain damage, and heart attacks, strokes. How we can, now the question is, okay, we know what is metabolic syndrome, we know what is glycation, oxidation, inflammation, and methylation is, how we can prevent it. And the rule is very simple. First we have to simplify ourselves. Simplify ourselves spiritually, emotionally, and what we eat. Eat less, be happy. Just eating, it is such a classical concept. We've been advised to eat less, right? Never eat full stomach, right? Leave some appetite. So what it does, it helps us with the oxidation, free radical theory. Same thing goes with glycation. Do not eat too much sugar. Because the more sugar we have, the more graph goes high with the combination of protein and sugar, which causes again trouble. Right? Oxidation, we already mentioned that eat less, and inflammation. Okay, for inflammation it's a different avenue. There's not one path which I can mention over here. There are 10 different paths for inflammation. Inflammation can happen due to your thoughts, due to jealousy, due to hate, due to stress. Stress brings cytokines in the body. Cytokines is the messenger immediately produced in the body. Cytokines are killer. All they tell your body is something is not right. So they keep telling your body something is not right, not right, not right. Now what is happening? Body is just rushing for nothing. You're feeling very uncomfortable. So where this uncomfortableness comes from? Cytokines. So that's what he said. Don't be stressed. Please don't sweat over minor things. Life goes on. So then inflammation can happen due to whatever we're eating. Like herbicides, pesticides, and the chemicals in our food industry. What all it does? It damages our liver. When liver gets damaged, liver gets so busy to take rid of those chemicals that it's not doing its job, but it should be doing it, perform more than 500 to 700 different functions. So liver has to put everything aside and start taking, because those things are toxins. If they're not taken care right away, it can damage the other organs. It can damage your brain, it can damage your heart, it can damage your kidneys. So the liver has to take care of those toxins. So what happened? The inflammatory process kicked in and started giving inflammation on the vascular levels, on the tissue levels. Same thing goes with a high intake of sugar, sugary drinks, fruit juices. Even Tropicana is the best drink, right? We have fresh fruit juice now. They are very high. Fructose is not good at all. Sugar, sucrose, fructose, lactose, all those things are not good other than a certain amount. Now what is the certain amount? 16 gram. Maximum you can go 25 gram, right? In the form of carbohydrate and starch, we cannot go more than 60 grams. So 16 gram is how much for a day? 2 bananas. Do you eat 2 bananas, you get 16 grams. Anything more than that is not good for the body. What it does, it starts telling your pancreas, okay, sugar levels are going high. Now bring some more insulin. Insulin is a very potent hormone. Insulin doesn't do only sugar part, it does a lot of other important functions. Bringing is a transporter, and it transports many other things. It is not basically designed just to take sugar all the time. And when you start taking sugar all the time to the cells, what happens to the cells? Saying, this guy is bothering us all the time. We're not going to listen to him. So what we have now? We have insulin resistance, right? So sugar is running in the body, insulin is running in the body. So what insulin start damaging bodies? It's body's own response. That you should not be there and you are too much here. Okay, here's the deal. So insulin start harming the body. It's like body is not taking it all the time. Now, most of the time when we go for the test, what they offer us, check your blood sugar. Right? Nobody ever bothered to know how much insulin you have. So in order to know if you are pre-diabetic or not, what we should go for? Insulin. That how much, because if insulin is running and in maintaining your sugar initially very well, you would never know that you are pre-diabetic or not. But if insulin is more than certain levels, it should not be. So it means that something is not right. So you're already pre-diabetic and they don't diagnose you unless until you are completely diabetic. So I would definitely go for my insulin test, not my sugar test. Sugar test is easy to do, like, you can check your fasting sugar in the morning. You tell your doctor, I checked my sugar and my numbers were between 80 and 90. Doctor will say, you're a wonderful guy, you're fine. But we don't know what our insulin is running in our blood. Insulin is the right exam to go for. Now, beside this, nowadays they are saying a lot about probiotics. Everybody heard that probiotics. Why we need probiotics is just a gut flora. Right? We have digestive issues. But probiotics would help you only that how you take it. If you're going to eat it with the food, like I'm having with my cereals and my yogurt, and it is like Greek yogurt with those probiotics, so what happens? It goes in the stomach. What stomach does? First thing, with the bacteria, it kills them. Stomach acidity is like enough to burn this carpet. But we are very lucky that there is a mucus lining which is highly resistant to that acid. So, probiotics maintain and they're dead. So there are no probiotics. So where this flora we're going to develop? So the trick is, when we drink water, what happens? Within 10 to 20 minutes from your stomach, it goes to your small bowel. And from small bowel, it gets absorbed, right? But when we take meal, what happens? It takes at least 40 to 90 minutes to go through the stomach, because stomach has to churn it and grind it and introduce different enzymes and hormones, so it will be useful when it goes to small bowel. So whenever you are empty stomach, with the fluid, take your probiotics. It's going to help you, because the problem over here with the system is chlorinated water. Everybody knows that when we open the tap, you want to take a shower, we can smell chlorine. What chlorine does? It kills bacteria. So it cannot differentiate good to bad, it kills all the bacteria. So the water we're drinking, we can change to a filter water, which can take at least chlorine away. That's the way you develop your gut bacteria. Because if we're talking about 30 trillion cells or 10 trillion cells, nobody knows the exact number because it keeps changing. Some cells are smaller, some are large in the size, so there is a rough estimate, 10 to 30. For each single cell, we have 10 bacteria in the body. So we're not living this body alone, we are sharing it with a host community which is like 10 times of our own body. Like if we are 10 we are like Let's say if I'm a one cell entity, I'm carrying 10 different bacteria with me all the time. So I'm feeding 10 we can call them host and parasite at the same time. Those 10 bacteria are three types. Number one is friendly bacteria. What friendly bacteria is doing? They are benefiting us by helping us in digestion, making vitamins for us. Vitamin K, they will make vitamin K and certain enzymes and hormones also. They trigger certain hormones. Then there is a group of bacteria which is we call opportunistic or mutualist. What they do? They ask us, you do this for me, I do this for you. So what is happening? We are giving them something, in return they are doing something for us. But those are the bacteria that can make us sick also. Whenever there is an imbalance in the system, they can make us sick. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful what we are feeding to them also. So when we eat, we do not eat only for ourselves. We eating those 100 trillion bacteria. And if we go out of the balance, we are killing them either, or we are feeding a monster. Things go bad. A lot of people may have heard about candida, right? That's a normal body flora, gut flora. But if we eat too much sugar, what happens? From our tongue to the end, all is yeast infection. And what feeds yeast? Sugar. So we have to be very careful what we're feeding to ourselves, because we're not feeding only ourselves, we're feeding those bacteria who can harm us. So this category goes opportunistic. And then we have parasites. They're not benefiting us, but they're just sitting in a corner. They know they're going to get some food from us. They're not harming us. Right? But when they're going to wake up, and when they wake up is they see that, okay, this guy immune system is so low, yes, it's time for me to attack, and good bacteria can harm me. So what good bacteria and opportunistic bacteria are doing with those bad guys, they are keeping them stressed. But again, we are feeding three communities inside our body. So be careful what you eat. I cannot say it enough. You guys have to think about sugar and the grains. A lot of people are going to ask me, why are you saying grains? Grain is created by God, right? The wheat God has created, been obsolete from the society maybe 50 years ago. The wheat we are eating now is not wheat anymore. It's not the seed what God has created, because the God has created a seed which are beneficial for us. If somebody do the farming here, they may be aware of, like in 1 acre, it goes only like 40 tons, something like that, 10 tons, right? But the modern seed goes in 1 acre, how much? 40 times higher than numbers, or 4 times, 5 times, 10 times higher than numbers. So what happened? It being genetically sliced means that its beneficial part dropped to 10% from 80%. All seeds have 80% beneficial part, 20% bad part. Everything we eat has benefits and some harming effect. Nothing is super diet or perfect diet, right? But we maintain the balance. So now back to the seed. So the modern day seed is 90% harmful, 10% beneficial. So that's why they're saying. Have anybody heard about wheat belly? There's a book, if you go on Google, and there are YouTubes also, wheat belly, and they're going to tell you exactly how wheat is causing. Wheat basically causing more inflammation. Any starchy food, starch means potatoes, pasta, wheat, rice, all those cereals, healthy cereals, right? So all those things, what they are causing more damage. How? They are damaging our vascular system. I call it normally plumbing system, because blood is running through heart is a pump. So it's a plumbing system. So that plumbing system is damaged by eating a lot of sugar and grains. So we have to cut down upon grains and sugar. Now the question will be, if we're going to cut down the grains, what are we going to eat? All of our life, what we eat. So you can eat grains, but there are ancient grains still available in the market, very hard to find. But there are those grains, slow down the process of oxidation and glycation. Because starches are again nothing but again pure form of glucose. So it raises your blood sugar, it raises your blood pressure. The reason it raises blood pressure because it affects your plumbing system. So your arteries and veins get inflammation. Once they are inflamed, their passage and path is narrowed. So blood has a hard time flowing. So mostly vegetables are very beneficial for you. And certain grains, rice is like, again, simple carb. But rice you can use brown rice or wild rice, or there is a grain called quinoa, which is beneficial for you. Any question about this rice and grains?
Is it true that at least 33% of Americans are naturally allergic to wheat? Yeah, wheat, I think. I heard that from Dr. Ross.
Gluten, you're talking about gluten,
Yeah,
right?
gluten, sorry,
Yes.
gluten, yeah.
Yeah, you can develop gluten allergy. Anybody could develop, even Asians can develop gluten allergy because anything with being altered. The creator, when he was creating the body, he was not creating the body. He was creating millions of other species and organisms. As we mentioned earlier, that there are 10 more people living in, if let's name those bacteria as 10 more people. They're living inside us for every one single cell. So there are 10 times more entities living inside of me, I'm feeding them. If they are not getting what the creator has designed for them, so they're gonna cause trouble. The allergies could be, when it comes to allergies, it is a very different approach. It could be environmental, it could be chemical, it could be herbicide in it, could be pesticide, it could be from the land, it could be the way they're storing it. Apple you're eating today do you think it just came from the tree yesterday? Any guess how long it will be staying in a warehouse? Maybe 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. So how they're preserving it? Chemical gases. So those gases are now inside the apple. So your body will not respond. But it is true. Americans are getting more with that.
You mentioned about probiotics. These are pills or something you take?
You have to be very careful when you take the probiotics, right?
What's that?
You have to be very careful. If you're taking an antibiotics, if you're drinking water from the tap, chlorinated water, then what good probiotic will be?
No, I'm saying probiotic. Are you referring, is it a class of pills called probiotic?
It comes in the form of capsules. You can get it from health food stores, or you can make your own probiotics. Sauerkraut, yogurt, pickles. So you can make it. Yeah. You can ferment your own food. Kimchi. So you can ferment your own food.
Another question. When you refer to oxidation, are you referring to just the normal digestion of the food to be oxidized, or are you referring
Oxidation happens on every level. It is called free radicals. What free oxidation is, so there is an atom, right? And it has electrons around it. And those electrons has to be in a certain number in order to make it balance. Right? So what they do, either atom or molecule, one electron is missing. So now the food is normally the culprit. So when there is one electron is missing, what it does, it's gonna bind up with one of your DNA molecule and gonna steal one atom from there. Now, again, it goes to genetic level. Now, what genes are doing all the time, they are watching us, they are building proteins, enzymes, and hormones for us. They have a lot of information from them. So, and that mechanism is very classical and sensitive area, and they cannot afford any kind of disruption. So, during that process, oxidation, it takes the information away. So, when the free radical steals electron from the DNA, so now DNA think, okay, I have to do something, but I don't know what it was because there is one missing link. It's like this: if I give you a sentence and missing some letters or words, you may be able to read it, but not the DNA. They're not confident. So that electron could have specific purpose for human body, but that information being stolen by those free radicals. So that's oxidation. And oxidation happens due to sunlight. Sunlight is good for us, give vitamin D, but that should be only 15 to 20 minutes and give you enough, right? But what happens? More exposure to sunlight creates free radicals because sunlight hits you, it's like inside causing radioactivity in the body. So you loses your electrons. So again, you create free radicals. So oxidation happens due to sunlight, due to environment, due to chemicals we're ingesting, and due to food we're eating, especially high fructose corn syrup and the sugary meals. Again, it goes back to the amount I said. On average, we can have sugar not more than 16 grams in any form. Even they say fruits are good. No, fruits are not good. It's a good commodity. It's a good money source, income source. Right? Vegetables are not bad. They are as good as fruits are. The only thing is they are like taste-wise they're bad, right? You don't like broccoli? Not at all. It's very good though. So oxidation comes from the sugar part mostly, and the way we cook our food. Cooking is also very important. Like you can steam it, you can boil it, you can simply saute it, or stir fry. That's the best way to preserve nutrients.
So basically, you're referring to free radical generation. How about microwave? Does it increase free radicals?
Oh, throw it away, brother.
What?
Why you have it?
What?
It's another nuclear reactor, basically. Because microwave and fast food industry goes in hand. Okay, get something from the freezer or refrigerator, put in the microwave. One thing is frozen which is already dead. Kill it more with the heat. What freezing does? It kills, right? There is the basic concept of a healthy diet is eat fresh every day. I'm not saying go raw or vegan. You can steam the stuff. Okay, microwave takes 2 minutes, steaming takes 20 minutes. You have better food, better nutrients, good health, less free radicals. It's like if I give you like, okay, here is dead protein, here is dead carbohydrate, would you eat? No. Because again, you're not feeding yourself, you're feeding those 10 people inside of you, 10 communities, right? They are good, they are equal with you, they are bad with you, right? Those 3 guys inside. So what they do? When you're not going to feed them, they're going to make you very, very sick. When those bacteria, as a matter of fact, start getting sick, what they happen, they cover your GI tract lining. So the lining start dropping and you start having inflammation and leaky gut syndrome, everybody knows that, and bloating. Like sometimes you said, it's not feeling right? Heartburning. All those things come from those guys inside of us.
When you refer to lactation, is it the same process that happens in the liver, generating glycogen?
No, that's totally different. Glycation is like a part of sugar goes with, like, again, we're going to get back to our diet. Simple diet is what? You eat 1 meal at a time. But when we go to the parties or home, now what is happening? You have appetizer, then what you have after appetizer?
I'm done after appetizer.
Okay, you're done after appetizer. Then we have
a
course, right? And after that, what we have? In between, what we have? Coke, Pepsi, fruit juice, or something, right? And then later on, we have dessert. So eating all those things. Again, my whole idea is eat this much. This is your stomach can handle it because body have to make a lot of enzymes and hormones to digest it. And with those tiny things, we end up eating this much. So we are already overburdened system. So the stomach gonna do half of its job. Rest of the job.
Maddie, we have prayer time, so we'll take a break. So people need to prepare. You can ask questions, and you can answer those after prayer. So go ahead and ask your questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. If parasites are usually something that's like outside the system that's latched onto it. So how come? I mean, it sounds like you're saying you said we have to feed them properly, but parasites are usually things that are like that come into you that shouldn't be there, like ticks or like other like insects like that. So how come we're feeding them? How come we don't do something to get rid of them?
Because those parasites having comes along with the good. It's always like we live in this world. You go to school. What kind of friends you have over here?
Good friends.
Good friends. But do you have all the friends are good? Some are like this. I'm very best friend. I'm very, very best to you. I'm the best friend of yours, right? And then other guy said, okay, I'm friend of you if you let me cheat your homework. You have friends like that too?
No.
Okay, somebody say you do this, I do that, right? Those kind of friends? Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then you have a group of people in the class, we call them, like, okay, they are bullies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So same thing happen in the body. When the God has given you those three guys, there was a reason behind it. Like getting back to your point, H. pylori, you heard that, right? When H. pylori happens, it causes serious damage to your stomach. But till the age of 30 to 40, H. pylori is beneficial for you. But after 40, it can turn bad anytime. So good guys suddenly become bad. So those parasites are there for a reason, because when those parasites are there, those good bacteria keep giving us immunity. Our 80% immunity defense system comes from where? From our GI tract. And in GI tract, who gives us that immunity?
Parasites.
The good guys and the opportunistic guys. So the God has given us bad guys so we can be strong. So the inside we have parasites and all those things, so we have antibodies. So when those from outside those bad guys go inside, those antibodies already know how to deal with them, so they kill those parasites, right? You get the answer, right?
Yes.
What is the purpose of parasites in the body?
Mm-hmm.
Like vaccine, what we do?
Vaccines. Oh, I get what you're saying. You're saying that basically like they're there just so our body can always be fighting. So not,
We will
not
be
so we-
prepared to fight,
Yeah,
fight the enemy, right?
Yeah.
If they are never there and you don't know your enemy,
Mhm.
how are you going to deal with it?
Exactly.
So the God has given us those three communities. So those three communities are helping us directly and indirectly. So the parasite sounds bad guys, but they are for good reason, and they are in control limit. So they are there sleeping. Those good guys, they outnumber them, because 6 guys are good. Say let's say they are 9, right, instead of 10. So 6 guys are good and 3 are bad. So who's the winner over here? Numbers wins, right? 6 guys are beating 3 guys, right? So that's what happens. Those parasites always stays dormant unless until your immunity goes down. And immunity goes down over the number of years, age, and whatever we're feeding ourselves. Lack of sleep also. People don't sleep nowadays, right?
After break.